Sometimes everything just hits you at once. Directed attack, specifically aimed at you, that has a domino effect. And then it brings other sharks, so to say, to the feeding frenzy called your life. There are people who have been purposely put in your life to suck your spirit and your soul dry. That's their only purpose. That's their only intention in communicating with you. Whether they know it or not, they are seeking sustenance from you. And in order to get that sustenance, they have to control how you think, how you feel, and what you do. And it can either be through praise, it can be through adoration, or it can be through depression, shame, guilt, the positive and negative, whatever it is, as long as it's directed at them, they get fed, which is sucking your life force out until you don't even know who you are anymore. And the key to overcoming this is to know who you are, is to know your truth within you, is to be able to stand when they are trying to make you fall by force. Why do some people find it so hard to just let you live your life the way that you see fit, the way that you decide? You have your own path, your own journey, and it doesn't matter for me to think and feel and behave exactly the way someone else does. And when someone forces that upon you to become a clone of them, basically, or a worshiper of them, they try to steal your individuality. And what they do is they suck it out of you and feast on it and leave you a hollow shell so that they then can put their hand inside of you and control you without you even knowing it. Because there's an empty void there now that was created by the emotional, physical, spiritual abuse. I have to jump over this now, so here we go. Okay, so I've been dealing with this my whole life. And here recently it's been sparked and the fire spreading to from abusive people online and abusive people in my life. And they all have the same tactic. The tactic is, I only care about my view and how I feel. I don't care about your individuality. I want you to be my mind slave and to obey me. I don't care about your own will, your own emotions, and your own thoughts. I don't even want to try to understand why you think the way you do. I purposefully mischaracterize you in order to benefit me, because not me, but the soul sucker who's doing this, I don't know myself. I need validation from you. And when I see you doing things that are opposed to what I think or what I do, I see that as you're threatening my identity, because I don't have an identity. I need you to tell me, worship me, and reassure me that this fragile demon inside of me is me. And most of the time it's true. It is them, because they've allowed themselves to be puppeteered by this dark force. We don't want to control people. We don't want to dictate, like an authority figure, exactly how they should walk and how they should talk and what they should do, and not consider what's going on in their personal life, and be empathetic and say, let me try to understand you. Okay, you may have done something that made myself upset, but I see that you're an individual with your own personal life and your own life story. And I know that I don't think like you and I don't feel like you. Let me try to understand you so that I can have the truth of the situation. And sometimes people lie, so you can't always get the truth by that. But with your heart, with who you truly are, if you're wanting the truth about a situation with somebody, you can usually feel it out. You have a gut instinct, the intuition to say, something's not right here. They're trying to manipulate me into feeling a certain way, either covertly or overtly. But for the spirited, the spiritual, the true truth seekers, we just want to live the way we want to, without someone else coming in and trying to take over our lives and tell us what our actions mean and tell us what to think and what to feel. That's why you shouldn't follow anybody. You should only follow your own inner guidance, your intuition, your higher self, the God in you, your ultimate potential, your expanded awareness, whatever you want to say, however you want to call it. That is where your identity lies. Your identity doesn't lie with what other people think about you, with how the world perceives you, because the world and other people, they're gonna suck your spirit. They're gonna suck your soul dry if you allow it. And there's certain predators lurking in the woods, waiting to be fed by your spiritual energy. And they will lure you in and entrap you and manipulate you to think they're someone which they aren't. And then they will slowly start revealing who they truly are. But sometimes by that point, you have already been sucked. You have those ties and those bondages already in place. Your foot is in the snare and it's hard to wiggle your way out. We want to end suffering. We want suffering to stop, to cease. Especially unnecessary suffering, torment, and abuse. When you identify what you hate coming from another individual who calls himself human, and you see the destruction, the wake of destruction left behind because of what they decided to do, and you're swirled with negativity, and you get the mob mentality where I'm going to join in. I'm going to cause suffering and abuse myself because this person who I think is above me is doing it, and they've gaslighted me into believing there's good cause for mental abuse and mental suffering, and pointing out all of the flaws, quotes, of a different person. That's always hiding the true intention of, I cannot allow myself to look inward, to actually start that spiritual journey. I can only parrot words that may sound spiritual, but in actuality, they are devoid of any life whatsoever. And that's why they need targets. That's why they need prey, because they cannot consist on their own. They're just like this realm. This realm is parasitic. Our bodies are parasitic, sure, but our spirit within is not. This is not our home. The ways they do things here is not the nostalgia of where we come from. Let that guide you. I feel this all the time. The nostalgia of my homeland, of where things were right, where you didn't have predators lurking around the shadows, waiting till you slipped up so they could feast on you and put you on public display and humiliate you for the sole purpose of torment. And you see it. You see it so much with social media these days. People are exposing, quote unquote, the lunacy of someone else. And everyone joins in and laughs. And yeah, I'm guilty of that too. Like, our human nature just enjoys to see other people suffering. But that's not my nature. My nature hates that to its core. I see someone who has been brainwashed and manipulated to believe absolute fictions, and now they're in a deranged state where one side can say, look how deranged they are, they believe this and this and this, and we just own them, ha 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 ha, how stupid, ha ha. But then you have the complete and opposite side of that, who does the same thing to them and say, hey, look how stupid they are, look all the deranged beliefs they believe in, ha 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 ha. It's just a back and back and back frenzy, a feeding frenzy of negative energy, swirling around, trapping us in this perception state that we no longer know to be, we're no longer in that. And yet this place wants to suck us back down into it. And there's people in our lives that want to suck us back down into it. This is how I can view a spirited person from a non-spirited person. And they may not be non-spirited, but they're not actively on the spirited path progressing forward, is when they constantly expect you to agree with their false identity and their false delusions. They want you to continually feed them energy. They want you to accept their worldview. They want you to gratify their desires. They want you to think of them as above you, as someone who deserves to puppeteer your life and know what's right for you. And when you go against what they know is right for you, you get punished, you get abused, because how dare you be an individual? Who cares if someone has a different opinion than you? They are allowed that. If they want to believe whatever they believe, allow them to. It's only the false egos battling each other, crying out because they say, validate me. Please validate me, because I can't have an opposing opinion, because if this opposing opinion is allowed to stand, my identity is threatened. There was no stable identity to begin with. If you're allowing a difference of opinion, a different lifestyle, a different thought to shake you. I'm saying all this because this has happened 3 times to me in one day, from an online source and from 2 physical sources who don't even know each other. They don't even know each other. They don't even know that the other one is doing it. But they all follow the same script. Script 1, attack and destroy with the sole intention of harming, because I don't like you and what you do. I don't like that you're threatening my emotional state and my identity, because you are acting like you're an individual free of control, free of my control, and I can't have that. And now I feel slighted. I feel shame and guilt within myself. So instead of reflecting and saying, oh wait, why do I feel this way? Why am I not allowing other people to freely decide for themselves what they're going to do? I don't own them. I don't control them. Is my intention to suck the soul out of this person and to have them my mental and spiritual and emotional slave? Or do I want what's best for them? Do I want to try to understand where they're coming from and see that, oh, the thing that I was mad about had nothing to do with the actual truth of the situation. It was just my unhealed, immature, childish mind and trauma that was telling me a lie. And instead of searching for the truth and coming to understanding, I decided to let the demons take over. And then I will, instead of seeking understanding and healing, I'm seeking revenge and destruction. Come on. And another thing, they like to hide behind spirituality, as if they even know spirituality. It's just a label. They're just empty words. They know nothing about the true spiritual walk. The spiritual walk out of here, of detaching from how this world has designed you to be, to believe, to fall in line, to be a parasite on everything around you. The name of the game is control. Just like how this realm controls you, manipulates you, takes your free will and perverts it, destroys it, manipulates it, redirects it into its will. These same people have the same tactics. It's all about manipulating your heart into believing their lie, their heartless lie, because they can't connect with their heart, which is their true essence. They can't do it. And when you threaten that, they get into rage, emotional rage. They want to destroy you. They want to lie about you. They want to smear you. They want to play the victim of, look what you've done to me. What exactly did I do to you? I just stated that I was an individual that had different ideas and thoughts about how I'm going to live my life and what I'm going to do and how I'm going to get out of here by being true. And being true doesn't mean you always get it right. You don't always get it right, but your vision is towards the truth. So when you stumble and fall, you don't just get stuck there. You don't just dwell on the fall. You don't allow other people to tell you, hey, remember when you fell? That's who you really are. What a pathetic loser you are because you fell. This life trips you on purpose. It was designed to make you fall and to get up and keep walking takes everything you have. And to get up and keep walking, only you know what that means. It's not a physical thing. You know what that means. The spiritual resolve to keep going under the face of adversity, and diversity, because everything is trying to steal and suck you dry. And there's the invisible forces doing that. There's the natural forces doing that. And then there's people, so-called people who care about you, who want the best for you. But when you unmask them, the best for you only meant they were hungry and they were wanting to feed. And you said, no, I don't want you to feed. I'm an individual. This is a mutual exchange. Then the mask lips. The mask lips. Clips. And but you have to process these things. Because if not, they're allowed to putrefy inside of you. And that will rot you from the inside out. Well, this thing is very soggy, but it didn't break. So don't allow these people in your life to let their evil intentions fester and putrefy you. See them as highly immature, childish, manipulative puppets who haven't done any real spiritual work. And that allows them to be puppeted to cause more suffering in this world. And the height of hypocrisy is when you have a truther or someone who's in the know supporting and glorifying and jumping in to participate with spreading suffering to other people. That's the biggest hypocrisy of all. You so-called truth seekers. You're just agents of this realm, and you think it's coming from you. They all follow the same scripts. All of it. When you're under the influence of evil, it all follows the same scripts. All of it. The only thing that's not controllable is true expanded awareness, true higher self, true individuality, true intention, true intuition, true heart. That can't be controlled. It can try to be manipulated, but it can't be controlled. And when you're going through this abuse, which is just dark entities feeding on you, the feeding frenzy, just imagining all these dark sharks coming to suck blood out of you as the leeches that they are, you feel it in the spirit. You feel it emotionally, you feel it mentally, you feel it spiritually, you feel it. Something is trying to drain my life force. Would someone who is truly spiritual, not hiding behind spiritual label, but knows the full meaning and extent of what that actually is? It's just a word. But if you don't embody it truly, it will always remain a word. It's just so simple to understand. If someone is coming at you with the intention to harm you, to destroy your life, to get people to believe lies about you, they're not walking in the truth. They're walking in lies and fiction. And when they try to control your perception, your individual sovereignty, and tell you that their sovereignty should be above yours and should be able to control you because you can't be left to your own will. When you give away your sovereignty and your will and what you know is right to someone else through manipulation and abusive tactics, and you allow them to pervert you, to dull your spark within, and to make you see everything through how they see it, which is a distorted abomination of lies, blinded by their own inability to heal, you're becoming just like them. And it can be insidious and slowly creep up on you until you realize, what have I become? I'm everything I am trying to fight against, all because I've been manipulated to see the world through the eyes of a very, very dark and demented spirit who is unable to connect to that spirit source themselves because they had been severed long, long ago. That's why it's important to not follow anyone. Follow yourself. Allow others to help you. Work together with others. They want fighting. They want chaotic, emotional turmoil in everyone's lives. They want everyone to be unhinged. They want everyone to be a lunatic. And they want everyone to not be able to have true emotional, spiritual, and mental intelligence. They want you to be a shaky foundation where any blow of the wind that's coming in an opposite direction that you believe in will make you unstable. So you have to fight and defend and destroy the false home that you had built on lies. I see this all so clearly, but it's hard when you get wrapped up into it to not want to try to defend yourself. The best way you can defend yourself is working on yourself, focusing on yourself in a non-narcissistic way, developing yourself so that you are better attuned to our true home, the nostalgic place that we know we came from. There, all of this bullshit is non-existent. We don't have leeches and predators and bloodsuckers just waiting to pounce on us to manipulate us, to pervert us, to misconstrue our words, to publicly shame and humiliate us, or in private, your own family, to just make you feel that you are just beneath their shoes. And since you won't take their worldview and how they think, you might as well just be trash thrown out on the side of the street. What kind of family is that? What kind of heart is that? It's good to get these things out because, like I was saying earlier, you don't want them to fester inside and pervert you and to take you away from who you truly are and where you're going. It's like you're walking on a path and then you see a bloodsucker come out behind the tree and say, hey, come over here. And you just put your leg out and say, okay, here. All right, you can feast as long as you want. I'm gonna be wrapped up in this forever because I know that you're never gonna stop sucking blood, and I know you want me wrapped up into it, so just take it. You're gonna just shake that motherfucker off and keep walking. And you know he's right behind you. You know he's slithering his way, calling insults to you, trying to make you stop and turn around so that you can fight, which just means, oh great, you stopped, so now I can feast. Do the inner work. They want your focus on them. That's why they do what they do. They want you focused on them so that they can keep getting energy from you. Have dignity and self-respect to know that abuse, whether intentionally or unintentionally, is not to be tolerated. And if one can truly apologize and say, hey, I'm sorry for that, great. We can continue. We can continue walking. If they can't do that, they want ill intentions for you. Why would you let them walk beside you? Why would you allow them any kind of space and energy in your life, in your sphere? I try to always be respectful, even to people who are not being respectful to me and are wishing me ill intentions and trying to pervert my mind into thinking like their mind so that I am under control. I try to understand, okay, why do they do this? Is it because, oh, they've been manipulated and programmed and gaslighted their whole life too, and they've never spiritually grew? They're stunted, and they need other people to prop them up because they can't do it themselves. And if they're spiritual at all, they have to proclaim it and make it known, and basically have to convert you into seeing it the way they see it, because it justifies them. It props them up because they need outside validation. They need your energy to feed it, which means they don't really got it. So, well, I feel better because being honest with myself, getting it out, now I can continue to walk my path unhindered by these puppets. Now they're always going to be there. I can feel them scurrying in the background right now, but as long as you're focusing on your walk, who you truly want to be, who you truly know you are, and you're expanding past the low vibrational energy of emotional turmoil and chaotic fighting and all this bullshit that they want to keep you in, you're doing a good job. Don't deny it. I mean, don't spiritual bypass it. That's not good. Go into it, feel it, and assert your dominance and your truth and your authority over that, and give yourself the recognition and support and authority, sovereignty to say, I am going my own way. If you have ill intentions for me, if you can't try to understand me, if you don't want to understand me, if you just want to influence me to see through your eyes and your eyes only, you are not good for me. You do not want what's good for me. You want what's good for you, which makes you a predator, because you're always going to try to subvert my sovereignty. You're always going to try to subvert my own intelligence to fit your demented, despicable vision, which is tainted and poisoned, which is the vision of this place. Keep your vision above it. Well, I said above it. What I meant to say was inside your heart, which is your true essence. Not the organ itself, but where the truth resides. Don't think about it in a physical sense. Call it what you want. Keep your vision where it's true. And before any bloodsucker makes fun of my beard, my face, my appearance, how I look, just know that this is not me. This is my tomb. This is my prison. You're making fun of the prison. Great. This isn't me. I exist outside of here, and this will remain here. So all the hurls of insults that someone is throwing at you, just keep in mind that they're throwing it at the illusion. And when you're walking the spiritual path, you no longer identify with the illusion. So they're only throwing insults into their own delusion. So, and a bug flew in my eye. Well, I would say not my eye, the body's eye. Try to have fun with it, you know.